to the divisional playoffs presented by Intuit TurboTax Live, and welcome to New Orleans, Louisiana. It's finally here, this matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and New Orleans Saints. Tom Brady and Drew Brees. Joe Buck and the Hall of Famer Troy Aikman. Glad to be with you tonight. Well, for the NFC side, it's been a constant with Drew Brees and the Saints. They're four-time division champs the last 4 years in the NFC South. So we know about Drew, but the guy that's crashed the party on the NFC side is the guy who's won 6 Super Bowls. That's Tom Brady. And Troy, over the last 5 games, he's playing some of the best football of his life.
Yeah, he sure is. And when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed him, this is why they brought him in, is to be in games like this. It had been a long time since they had made the postseason. It had been even a longer time since they had won in the postseason. They did that last week against Washington. Here they are now against the Saints, a team they know very well and a team they haven't played very well against. And Tom Brady has really struggled. 5 interceptions in those 2 games. He's got to clean that up, and I suspect that he will. He's been playing excellent football, like you said, and this Saints defense has not seen this offense. I mean, they are explosive. Antonio Brown had just joined the team the last time these 2 teams played, so it's a much different look and a different feel, a confident team. Should be a great one.
Yeah, we can't wait to see how this thing unfolds. We look at these 2 quarterbacks as we head to break. We'll be looking at them all night long. Glad you're with us. Playoff football on Fox. And welcome back to New Orleans. Here are tonight's insights built with IBM Watson. How about this matchup? 43-year-old, 42-year-old, 2 future Hall of Famers, and where they rank all time in NFL history. Gonna be fun. Kickoff coming up next.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Beautiful night outside, beautiful night inside the Dome in New Orleans. Both sidelines are covered. We'll start with the Buccaneers sideline and Erin Andrews.
Joe, some news first for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Running back Ronald Jones was listed as questionable going into this game with a quad injury. He is active, but they are going to start running back Leonard Fournette and take it series by series. Now staying with the offense, Tom Brady telling us the turning point this year, Week 15 versus Atlanta. That's when he said, we let it rip and we cut loose, and the chemistry has never been better. He said, you know, this team is in such a great spot and football is really fun. Perfect timing as they get set to go head-to-head with the team he calls their toughest challenge. For more on the Saints, let's send it over to Tom Rinaldi.
Erin, some news on the New Orleans side. Taysom Hill and Latavius Murray both officially inactive for this game. When it comes to Hill, the loss is significant. He had 75 combined yards from scrimmage in the last matchup with Tampa Bay, and consider he was on the field for 25% of the snaps in the wild card win. Of course, the question that hangs over this, should New Orleans lose, is it more than the end of the Saints season? Is it the finish to Drew Brees' incredible career? Many in the franchise expect that to be the case. Brees hasn't said anything definitive or public, Joe. The only statement he wants to make is to take a step closer to coming back to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and even on our conference call, Tom, Troy was scared to ask him. I've never known Troy to be scared, but he was scared.
Yes, I was. I didn't want to imply anything.
Well, the Saints won the toss. They defer. The Bucs will start with the ball, and Bruce Arians told us we want to start with the ball.
You're watching the NFL on Fox 38 KSCC Corpus Christi.
Welcome to the Verizon Halftime. 5G built right for the NFL, only from Verizon.
Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are this close to having a lead here at halftime, but instead, hey, apropos, an evenly matched first half winds up with a tied score. At the break, 13-13 as we welcome you to the Verizon Halftime Show. Terry, Howie, Michael, Jimmy Johnson joins us here from the Keys. And you know what, Jimmy? We came into this game talking about Brady and Brees. It's turned out to be really a story about running the football and defense.
Yeah, New Orleans defensive coordinator Dennis Allen's got his defensive backs playing a tight man coverage with a 2 deep behind it. Now, this takes away the quick throws that Brady likes to throw against zone coverage. You see the the tight coverage here. He has to hold the ball. He gets the sack. Then you got the tight coverage with the play action pass. He tried to throw it deep to Evans. Lattimore does a great job of not interfering and knocking the ball away. And then Jenkins against Gronkowski down at the goal line, saving a touchdown. Howie, I think that tight coverage is one reason Tampa's running the football.
Yeah, no question. I think, you know, they had protection was an issue in the first 2 meetings. And to get them out of that 2-deep safety look, they've got to run the football and at least show them they respect it. Here, Jones up the middle for 9-yard gain. He's back. That's a big back for them. Fournette bounces it outside, showing some quickness along with his size. And again, Fournette up the middle for a 6-yard gain. The shot you saw with Godwin at the end of the half there, which almost was a touchdown, the way they get that shot is they get that safety out of 2 deep, and they take the shot down the field.
And for New Orleans, I mean, you do what we talked about in pregame, Alvin Kamara. I mean, that's the guy, you just feed Kamara the ball. And, you know, here you give him the toss, he's going to get 10 on this, but he's so explosive. You get him to the outside, he makes guys miss, but he's not just an outside runner. Let him run inside between the tackles, bounces off guys, and he is most dangerous in the passing game, catching the ball out of the backfield and just making something out of nothing sometimes.
You know, before we take a break, I want to jog your memory. 1 year ago this weekend, we had one of the best moments in the history of Fox Sports when Jimmy Johnson was announced as one of the newest inductees in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. David Baker joined us here on the pregame show. It made us all smile. It made Troy cry. It made America feel good, Jimmy. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Well, hey, I'll get my gold jacket just like all of you have gold jackets.
Not me.
We can't.
Okay.
We can't.
We look forward to it.
Kurt has one from middle school, but that was great, Jim.
There you go. All right, we'll be back with more highlights for some of you. Others will get local news. That's when we continue with Verizon Halftime.
We need every man out here tonight. We expect the best out of everybody out here. Do your job. We don't need anything else. Tonight's tonight. Every one of you, man. We don't say what you think, man. Don't ever let go.
Well, still another half away from determining who goes to Green Bay for the NFC Championship game, TB. The AFC title game is already set.
It is. Kansas City will be hosting the Buffalo Bills early today against Cleveland. Patrick Mahomes back, sets up good pass protection over the middle, a delayed post route inside for Kelsey, 20-yard touchdown, 13-3, Chiefs up. And then Mahomes takes this hit. That didn't give him a concussion, but hitting that ground did give him a concussion. He had to leave the football game. Now he's in the concussion protocol, and we will see what happens, and he'll be ready next week. Then rolling right on this play, 4th and inches. Chad Henne finds Tyreek Hill, first down, ball game over. Chiefs 22-17, good ball game over the Cleveland Browns.
All right, so after the game, Patrick Mahomes tweeted that he's okay. Andy Reid says he's okay for now. Obviously, he's still in the concussion protocol. Let's assume he can play. The way Buffalo has played lately, winning 8 straight, are they really a factor to beat Kansas City in Kansas City?
Yes, oh, absolutely. As long as they got that quarterback back there who can run like the wind, big, strong, sling it all over the place. I'm not worried about Buffalo playing well. I'm worried about whether or not Mahomes is going to be ready. That hit, when you get up wobbly like that, what we've seen is not someone ready to go the following week.
Yep.
All right, we've got another half coming your way from New Orleans.
Let's do it.
Who will be moving on to the NFC Championship game? Will it be Drew Brees and the Saints or Tom Brady and the Bucs? We are about to find out. The second half is next.
Tonight's game flow brought to you by Progressive. 13-13, the Saints to receive the second half kickoff. Brady with a touchdown pass for Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston with a touchdown pass for the Saints. Tonight, the Saints are celebrating the 9 high school football state champion teams from Louisiana with cutouts of players from those teams here in the Superdome. Earlier this week, one of those teams, the Class 4A state champions from Karen Crow High School in Lafayette, Louisiana, were treated to a surprise virtual visit from the Saints' Cam Jordan, who took the time to congratulate them on their win. All 32 NFL teams support growing the game at the youth and high school football levels. To find out more, visit playfootball.com. And we will welcome you back inside the broadcast booth. I'm Joe Buck. That is Troy Aikman. We've seen one play from scrimmage for more than 16 yards. Not a lot of offense to talk about after a half.
No, not a lot of offense. And I think if you're the Saints, you feel like you've kind of allowed Tampa to stay in it. They've got the interception, of course, that set up the touchdown that they were able to get. And then if you're Tampa Bay, you're saying, hey, we didn't even play our best football. In fact, we didn't play well at all until that last drive offensively. And yet here it is, a 13-13 game. So, you know, here we are. It's the next 30 minutes, and who's able to make the plays, and it's going to take a total team effort, you know, as far as who's going to be able to advance in the NFC Championship game against Green Bay next week.
With temperature in the 20s and possible snow. There are the numbers. Both quarterbacks under 100 yards for the half. Brady has been cooled off after that tremendous 5-game run he's been on. Breeze will get to start this drive from the 25, and we will send it down to Aaron Andrews.
And Bruce Arians would like to see more of that drive with his offense, staying balanced, continue to run the ball, and convert on third down. This caught our attention, though. Antonio Brown was talking to trainers over on the sidelines before halftime. We think this is the play where he kind of tweaked something in his leg. Now, it caught Tom Brady's attention as well. Before the half, Tom walked over to AB and asked him if he was good to go. The Bucs have told me Antonio is fine. He is on the sidelines, though, working with that knee with a, looks like one of those Theraguns.
Welcome to the State Farm postgame show.
Well, the Buccaneers defense stood tall today. Devin White with one of 3 picks of Drew Brees as the Bucs move on to the NFC Championship game, winning in New Orleans. 30-20 is the final. Let's welcome you to the State Farm postgame show. And you know what, Howie Long, you take a look at this game, and this is the 14th time that Tom Brady has gone to a championship game in his 21 years in the league. And while his stats weren't great today, this is kind of what we expect to see from him in the playoffs.
Yeah, Terry was just talking about how happy he was for him that he had an opportunity to go to yet another Super Bowl. 8. You know, I think the impressive thing was, it was like this team spent the entire year trying to figure out who they were offensively. They did something today that they couldn't do in the first 2 games. They pounded the football. It was Fournette. It was Jones. It was patient football. They took advantage of it. The game was close. Their defense played well. It looked like a Patriot kind of football game. And that's a good lesson, I think, for that entire football team and the coaching staff. This is a Tom Brady kind of game.
His 14th championship game, but first in the NFC in his very first year in the conference. Moments ago, Tom Brady standing by with Aaron Andrews.
You told us this team needed to play well in all 3 phases, but what can you say about this defense and the way they set up the offense? 4 takeaways, 3 of them leading to touchdowns, Tom.
It was huge. I think the defense was the key to the game, and the way they played. We were going up against a really good defense. They challenged us. I thought their defense played really well, but our defense really balled out, got the turnovers we needed, and ended up being a great win for us.
What was this different this time? Because Saturday we saw on the IG, we know you wanted to play New Orleans again, round 3, but what was different for you guys this time?
Well, turnovers were a big part of it. We talked about that, and, you know, really just locking in and playing a lot better than we did the first 2 times we played them. So we had a bunch of turnovers last time. This time they turn it over, and that's usually the story of football games.
Well, the story of this football game is that now you're going to play in your 14th conference championship game. I know you've joked around that your blood is really thinned out since being in Tampa. It's going to be in the 20s as you get set to take on Green Bay. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's great. I mean, it's great for our team, and, you know, we worked hard to get to this point. 2 road playoff wins is pretty sweet, and we got to go beat a great football team, one we know pretty well. And, you know, Aaron's playing incredible. and we're going to have to play great to beat them.
One final question. There are reports that this is it for Drew Brees. I know you had a moment out there for him. Just your thoughts if this is, in fact, when he walks away from the game.
Yeah, I'll leave that up to him to think about that. But, I think so much of him as a player, person, everything. I know him pretty well, and he's an incredible player and competitor.
Congratulations to you. Bring your thermals. We'll see you in Green Bay.
Can I say hi to my parents back home in San Mateo, my sisters, my wife, my kids. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.
Congrats, Tom.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, so the NFC Championship game is set. Tom Brady and the Bucs will go to Green Bay to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. That game will be on Fox next week. But first, Michael, let's wrap up this performance today by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who had lost twice to New Orleans in the regular season, but this is one way to make up for it.
Well, first of all, it's great to get Tom Brady to do an interview for us. That worked out, and the words he said about Drew Brees are right on point. But this is a team that has to exercise its demons against the Saints. They just seemed like they couldn't get over the hump, and at one point, you thought they were going to revert back to what we've seen before. But the big play on defense, the defense really came today, really brought the pressure. Devin White was outstanding, outstanding. And whenever they put some pressure on Drew Brees, he made some throws that errant throws, the turnovers, the cost fumbles. Tom Brady and offense capitalized on those. And this is a team that now is going into Green Bay. A lot of confidence. They dominated Green Bay. And you're not so worried about if Tom Brady believes. I always worry coming into this game if he can get the rest of the team to believe. And it looked like they all believe that they're Super Bowl or capable of being Super Bowl bound.
They played back in Week 6. Tampa won that game 38-10, probably the most lopsided loss that the Packers had all season long. When we come back, we will discuss the future for Drew Brees. This looks like it was probably his final game at the Superdome, blowing kisses to the crowd as he took off. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But a reminder that tomorrow is the day that the nation celebrates the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and we've got something very special for you. Make sure you join Michael and me for a unique show called Fox Sports Voices, which illuminates the work of athletes uplifting their communities.
We need every man out here tonight. We expect the best out of everybody out here. Do your job. We don't need anything else. Tonight's tonight. Every one of you, man. We're not saying what you think. Don't ever let go.
A week from today, Aaron Rodgers hosts his first ever championship game, and he hopes to snap a 3-game title game losing streak, but has to face 6-time Super Bowl champ Tom Brady, who's looking to take his new team back to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2002. Don't miss it. Next Sunday, 3 Eastern on Fox.
All right, so Tom Brady is moving on to face Aaron Rodgers. It is the end for Drew Brees, at least for this season. In the pregame show, Jay Glazer reported that he will be done and retire as soon as the year is done. And it looks like, if you watch him walk off the field here at the Superdome, Terry, that he is saying goodbye to the fans. And this look back, just soaking it in one more time, it looks like.
That would be a tough one right there, knowing that you lived your whole life, prepared your whole life for that moment right there. Not to retire, but that's where your love was left out on that field. Guys leaving the league with 571 touchdown passes, more yardage than any quarterback in the history of this game. Not from a 6'5" guy, but from a 6'1" guy with great technique. You've heard me talk about it all week long. Just a phenomenal player. And if he is moving on, God bless him. I know he signed with NBC to do football, and he'll be great at that.
Leaving with a lot of records and a Super Bowl championship. Yeah. Don't forget the difference he made there in the city of New Orleans. When he came there as a free agent, after Katrina, all that stuff, really became engrossed in that community. And that will be the legacy that he carries just as much as football. Absolutely. All right. So before the show, we said if you download the Fox Super 6 app, you could win some money, but you were guaranteed to win a truck, an all-new Ford F-150. Well, someone won this truck, and it's a young lady by the name of Terry from Maryland.
Oh, boy.
She won your truck.
Terry to Terry.
Terry, how you doing? Congratulations. I just got that truck. That's a brand new color by Ford. I'm a Ford guy, and I'm glad that you got my truck. By the way, I'm going to leave a note is actually inside the truck just for the winner, and a big, huge check for $600-700 grand. Okay? How's that?
There you go. Really?
You better say that.
Yeah, exactly.
That ain't
There'll
true.
be a note left in the truck for next week as well, because we guarantee next week someone will win a different F-150, and you have a chance to win up to $500,000. That's by playing the Fox Super 6 for the NFC Championship game next week.
Whose money?
All right.
Whose money?
It's Terry Bradshaw's money. Exactly. All right, before we go, we know the NFC Championship game is Green Bay hosting Tampa Bay. In the AFC, it will be Buffalo visiting Kansas City. At the end of the game today, Patrick Mahomes put in the concussion protocol, going down with this injury. The question everybody wants to know right now, Jay Glazer, is will he be okay to play in the championship game next week?
Their thought is that he will be okay. And right now, he's in the concussion protocol. You see him having a hard time getting up, walking there. That's more so because they were saying it was almost like he got choked out, which I know a thing or two about. Not so much a concussion, but he still has to go through the concussion protocol. He was trying to get himself back in this game, though. So there's a lot of confidence that he'll be able to go next week.
That is good news. Hopefully he's able to play in that game. We will see you next Sunday for the NFC Championship game. It'll be
Brady,
the Green Bay
Rodgers.
Packers hosting, you said it, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brady and Rodgers right here on Fox. Coming up next, though, it is the Great North. Stick around for that. We will see you next Sunday as we get Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers set with the winner moving on to the Super Bowl.
Who says that?
Fox Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. For NFL news and highlights, go to NFL.com.